You know, Rob, obviously we've been talking a lot the last number of days and weeks about Shang-Chi and the successful run it's been having. You know, we were talking about after its big opening weekend of like $75 million, how would it do in its second weekend? It didn't take the big second weekend drop like a lot of other films had. Held really strong with a really, really strong 52% and made a lot more money. Well, Rob, it has once again, for the third week in a row, come in at number one at the box office again. It is now sitting, it made $21.7 million, which represents only a 37.5% drop from week one to week two. It's a 60-something% drop from week one to week three, which is a smaller drop than a lot of other films have been having from week one to week two. So it's made another $21.7 million, bringing its domestic total up to $176 million. You know, Rob, I was saying a few days ago, do I think Shang-Chi can actually hit $200 million domestic? And I said, that might be a bit of a stretch, but it's already sitting at 176. Maybe it is within the realm of possibility. And it brings up Shang-Chi's total worldwide total now to over $320 million, which means it is now officially profitable. The film is now making money. It's in the black. So good for it. I, of course, Rob, went to go watch Shang-Chi for the seventh time on Friday. Me and Ann and a couple of friends of ours, we went to go see Shang-Chi. It was their first time seeing it. They were just buzzing afterwards. I got to see it for my seventh time. I might now be good, Rob. I might be good now as far as my theatrical Shang-Chi viewings. I think now I can wait to watch it again till it comes out on Disney Plus, whatever. But anyway, another big win for Shang-Chi. Not just, look, it's not a terrible surprise that it came in at number one at the box office again. Not a lot of strong competition. You know, Tammy Faye wasn't going to beat it. Cry Macho wasn't going to beat it. Cop Shop wasn't going to beat it. So it's not a big surprise it was number one. The real thing here is in its third weekend, it made over $20 million. That's huge. Rob, your thoughts on Shang-Chi taking top spot again for the third week and the numbers it continues to pull in?
Well, you know, John, yesterday, I too went and saw Shang-Chi again. I went with the cute as a button Connie Sang, our friend, and Elizabeth. She'd never seen it. We went and saw it in IMAX at the Burbank 16. And it was just as delightful as it was. And Elizabeth loved it. And there were a lot of people there. And I think it's what we've been saying, John. It's a crowd-pleasing, rollicking, rousingly fun piece of entertainment. And it really delivers the goods. And I think that's why people are going back and seeing it again. And I wouldn't be surprised if this breaks $200 million. I could see that happening. I don't know if it will, but if it still even is doing good business during the week. So it very possibly could by the end of next weekend pass 200 million. But man, let me tell you, as it's had September to itself, but no way. With Venom, Let There Be Carnage opening on October 1st, it's gonna. I'm sorry, but it's gonna get clobbered. But it's had its September. Shang-Chi has owned September, but man, come October, what a brutal month. Although it's great for us as moviegoers, but wow.
And speaking of like really interesting success, let's talk about the movie that came in number two at the box office in its sixth week. Free Guy, the Ryan Reynolds film Free Guy, still sits in second place in its sixth week. It made another $5.2 million, bringing Free Guy up to 298. So basically $300 million on a $100 million film. It has also been quite profitable for them. This little film that I, quite frankly, did not expect much from. It kind of looked there were interesting trailers. I didn't dislike the trailers. They're interesting trailers. Thought this could be cute. Ryan Reynolds is, of course, my favorite movie star in the world, but I was not ready for how fun that movie was and how interesting that movie is. So that did well. Couple of other interesting notes. Out of all the films making their debut this week, which was Cry Macho, Cop Shop, and The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Cry Macho came into the number three at the box office with $4.5 million. Cop Shop, the new Gerard Butler, Frank Grillo film. And I really like Frank Grillo and Gerard Butler in this film, although I didn't like the film overall, unfortunately. But Cop Shop made $2.3 million in its opening weekend. And The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which only opened limited, made about $600,000, which I'm very actually excited to see that movie. I went to my local theater to try to check it out. It wasn't quite there, so I'm going to have to watch it at some point. So I haven't had a chance to see that. But interesting that Free Guy in its 6th week holds on to the number 2 spot there, which is congratulations again to everybody involved with Free Guy, because I mean, it couldn't happen to a nicer movie. It honestly couldn't happen to a nicer movie. Anyway, question is for you guys. What do you think about Shang-Chi not just holding the number 1 spot at the box office for 3rd week in a row? That was kind of expected, but still pulling in the money it has. What do you think about Free Guy still holding on to the number 2 spot and still making money as well in its 6th week? Whatever you guys are thinking, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.